Summary of Part 1. The story begins with Ethan seeking help from his genius hacker friend, Zane, in Toronto to recover a hacked email. While Zane is briefly away, Ethan's curiosity leads him to accidentally access the Dark Web.Part tour. He stumbles upon a terrifying headhunter site and unwittingly confirms a hired assassination request by clicking OK 3 times. This action immediately reveals his exact location, Zane's house, to a dangerous organization. Despite Zane's frantic attempts to destroy all electronic devices, including their phones and computer components, the hitman contacts Ethan via a new phone number. A chilling bouquet of dark red roses is delivered to Ethan's home, confirming the hitman knows his exact address and demanding a payment of 14,000 Bitcoin. Ethan realizes he is in grave danger and that they must find a way to stop the killer. Part 2. The counter-attack in Toronto after receiving the bouquet of roses. I realized the man knew my home address, and the problem was far from solved. I tried calling Zane, but his phone kept going to voicemail. I tried again and again, but it seemed like he was deliberately not answering. Finally, after 2 hours, his phone was back on. I said, "Zane, I need to meet you urgently." "What happened?" I said. "You'll know when we meet. We can't talk on the phone anymore. We had a CF we always used to meet at, so we agreed to go there." I met him. It was clear I was extremely stressed. He said, don't worry. God willing, we'll find a solution. I want to know how he contacted you, and we need to trace everything back to the beginning so we can solve this problem." I told him, "I don't know. I did exactly what you told me to do. You yourself broke the phone and the SIM card the first time." We sat and thought. What happened? And why did he call me and not Zane? Even though Zane was at the heart of everything, he was the one on the computer with all his stuff. And naturally, if any data was compromised, it should have been Zane because it was all his. How did I get involved? Yes, I was the one who did everything. But why was I the one in trouble? And when he sent the first message, he sent it to both me and Zane. Why am I the only one involved this time? Of course, I was losing my mind. I didn't know what happened. We tried hard, but we couldn't figure anything out. It was very late. He said to me, "What time do you have?" I looked at my watch, and it was 10 o'clock. As soon as I looked at my watch, he grabbed my hand. I said, "What's wrong, Zane?" He said, "What's that on your wrist?" I said, "Just a watch." He said, "Take it off and show it to me." I took off my watch. It was just a regular watch. Of course, he took the watch and looked at it. He said, "Is this the watch you had with you?" I said, "Yes, this is the one I had with me." He said, "Didn't I tell you to get rid of anything related to technology?" "You need to leave it, get rid of it." I said, "But it's just a watch." He said, "No, it's not just a watch." I said, "But it's just a watch." He said, "No, it's a smartwatch. That means they can track it." He said, "We could even get hacked through the printer. They could plant a virus in the printer and track your whole network. We could get in through the air conditioning if it's a smart system. If your AC is connected to anything, we can get in through it. Hackers can get in through anything. That's why I told you from the beginning that this is part of a big organization. There are powerful entities, a large central operation behind it, not just amateurs." I said, "What do I do with this watch now?" "We have to leave it at home with your phone. But first, bring your phone. It's important." So we turned on his phone, transferred all the data from his phone to the computer, and then turned off the watch and his phone. I said, "Okay, are we done? What's the next step?" "He knows my house." He said, "We have to attack. We can't wait for him to come and kill you. We have to attack and get rid of this problem quickly." I said, "Please," because my nerves are completely shot. We left the phone and the watch at home. He said, "You're not going to carry anything at all. You're going to use a regular button phone. That's it. That's the only safe option. No one can track it." We were going to get that phone. He actually had one like that. So, of course, we figured out the first thread. We knew how he knew my location and all that stuff, that he was tracking the watch. And from the watch, he started tracking every other phone and every SIM card connected to it. So, of course, it was easy for him. I left the watch and the phone at home. Why? So that when we left the house, he would be sure that I was in my place. That's the first step. Okay. What are we going to do next? He said, "Come on, let's go down." I took him, and we drove around in the car. He opened his laptop and started going through every house. He'd get close to a house and say, "Wait, stop, then he'd search for any Wi-Fi network and say, "We can't just get in anywhere. We have to get in somewhere." He stopped in front of a CAF, then in front of an apartment building, until we reached a CAF where we found a good, fast network. He went in, hacked the network, and got straight into it. Once he was in the network, he gathered all the data he had recorded. Of course, the messages from him were encrypted. He retrieved what he had and what he had told me. He went into the message and decrypted it, of course. He started working hard until he decrypted it and found the killer's phone number. Once he found the phone number, he sent him a message. He wrote that we were trying to send him the money, but we couldn't. The account kept saying it was wrong. The killer replied with another message saying that the home address was correct. Please confirm and transfer the required amount within 1 day maximum. As soon as he sent the message, Zane located his device. We found out he was in a hotel. Of course, the guy was very smart. He wasn't staying in a house or anything. He was in a hotel, a place with gatherings, so it's hard to get to him. Of course, the more it seemed like the problem was solved, the more complicated it became, and vice versa. I said to Zane, "Okay, I'll tell you what. Zane, I have an idea. Can you take a picture of him from his phone while pretending to open something?" He said, "Okay." I said, "Try that." He said, "So, what do we do?" I said, "Send him a blank message. He'll open the message and look at his phone, and you can take a picture of him." He said, "Wait a moment." Then he started working, back and forth, until he sent another blank message and managed to open his phone and take a picture of him. I said, "Great, that's excellent. Let's go to the hotel he's staying at now." He said, "You can't go meet him." I said, "Don't worry, I'll handle it. All we need from you now is to find out his name and room number." "That's what you need from Zane, right?" "This is Zane," he said. "If we can find out his name and room number, consider the problem solved." I said, "Okay, Zane, sure. Take me there, and I'll handle it." So we drove there in the car. I went into the hotel. I went up to the reception desk and said, "Excuse me, I'm a driver, and one of the guests who was riding with me forgot some important things, and I need to deliver them to him. But I have to deliver them myself." The receptionist asked, "What's the guest's name?" He had told me his name, but it was foreign, and I didn't remember it. I said, "But I can show you his picture." He said, "Show me his picture." So I showed him my picture. He said, "Mr. David, he's in room 406. I said, "Room 406. "Okay, let me go get the stuff from the car and come back to take it to him." He said, "Okay, go ahead, of course." He cooperated because he thought the guest had forgotten something and would be in trouble, so he had to cooperate. I went to the car and called Zane. Zane couldn't believe that I gave him the room number and his name. For him, that's all he needed. He said, "1 moment." He went online and started searching for the picture, and he wrote an email, then sent it. I asked him, "What is it?" He said, 10 minutes and you'll know." We were standing there, and not even 5 minutes had passed before I saw a lot of police cars. A lot. We heard the sound of gunfire, like an exchange of gunfire coming from up there. Then more gunfire. A little while later, we saw them bringing him down. Of course, I couldn't believe it. I didn't believe it at that moment. I said to Zane, "Let's run quickly to home before anything else happens. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe." I'll tell you what happened after this call in the next episode.